Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and this is From the Depths, and we are at the nominal position of the bridge of our new Epic ship. I've smoothed out the hull a little bit, got some ideas to work on. These bits of wood are placeholder, just for the moment, just to see size and shape. So I've smoothed out the hull a little bit, sort of gone with the square and then squares within squares type of situation. So we have it rounding off, and then this effectively makes a larger second square on the outside, sort of smoothed off a little bit to make a tube, but slightly with some angles. Down on the bottom as well, we've got a bit of angling on there as well. Rather than going for the circular design, I might also make one bigger square on the back, so it's like yeah, but smooth off the edges as I've done here to make like a square in a square in a square type of situation. We'll see how that works out on the rear section once we get to that point. So what we're going to look at in this episode is some of the medium range weapons. Now, just as a point I've done is I've created a little gangway here, and I've put some NPCs and a load of weapons here. I'm gonna see how they perform. If not, I can just remove those or make these part of the close range weaponry when we get testing. I just want to see. There was a load of changes made to these NPCs, and you'll see the look of them now. They've got like machine gun, I don't know, some sort of plasma cannon or something on them, so they're quite a bit different, whereas previously they were just a copy of our own avatar. They are now have a shape of their own. So I've put them in here because hopefully they might be able to take some of these guns in as a short range weapon. Maybe we'll see if it works. If they don't, I will remove them. So medium range weapons. I also want to have these weapons in the hull section here. I'd also like to have them semi hidden, so when they're in their stowed position, for want of a better word, they will blend to a degree into the hull. There might be a bit of a bulge, obviously, so you know, we're allowed to allow a little bit, but they will be hidden. Now the missile systems I think will be easier, because the missile systems we can just have rotate out like we've done in other ships, so they're facing forward, and we might look at those first. And the turret systems we can put somewhere, maybe the turret in the armor of the turret actually includes the same shape as we've got here, so that actually when it turns out there might be a little bit of a gap, but generally when it's stowed back again it will be almost the same as the actual turret, as the actual system we have here now, the actual armor we have here now. We'll see how much space we've got. Now, to put all of these weapons, we've got a triple hull type of design. We've got this first area here right next to this area, which is going to be our main area. We've then got a secondary which houses mainly houses the main gun, and it will also eventually also I think house the engines and any primary. This is the center of the vessel, so we've got this giving multiple layers of protection. The top is we may need to put some more thicknesses on the side here just to give us some armor, and obviously we've got a lot of shields to put into place on here to make sure that we're shielded all over as much as possible, and also some laser defenses or anti-laser defenses will have to be put on. We'll try to blend them in a little bit with the vehicle shape, but we might have to obviously have some smoke defenses on the top. So let's have a work on what we've got. Look at the space we have. So if I'm thinking also we can go asymmetric in that we can have some of the systems below this line. We don't all have to have everything on the top. It can be below as well. Now we've got this shape. If we work on this shape we have here, you can see it's like a bit of a corner. Now we can make it go in here, so we can remove a little bit of this size. So what we're going to do is, I think we'll start with putting in a mirror light, which we have. We might start on the top one actually. The top one has got a little bit more space. It's a little bigger. It's not 100% symmetrical. The bottom is slightly shallower than the top. But that shouldn't be a problem in the long term, I hope. For the moment, what we're going to do is let's just see. We will have to cut into this section, into the hull, but I want to do it in an area which is going to be reproducible. So this is most probably the first section, which is going to be nice and easy to reproduce. You can see there's quite a thickness of armour here, so if we're going to be having something which tips out effectively from this section and then fires a load of missiles forward, and we want to make it so that it fires a fair few missiles. There's no point in just having one or two. If we're going to build it, we're going to build it big. The missiles itself, we want a range of approximately 2000, I think, range, which means we could do that with actually a 4-block missile. Actually, maybe a 6-block. 6-block would just give it a slightly more engine. That would give us, you know, approximately a 2000 meter range. So yeah, we'll go for a 6-block missile and see what we can do with that. That leaves us 2 for the other components on this and the basic edge side. So let's see if we now place a just got to work this out so that it would rotate out nicely. We might take that off and potentially those as well, so then it would go 45 degrees, sorry, 90 degrees here. Yeah, might have to actually rotate all the way out. What's the other way of doing this? We can either have it fold out. We could actually, does that say it has to fold that way? It could fold up. We could have it coming upwards instead of downwards. Yeah, okay, that's equally valid as far as that goes, and it also means it would lift it out the way of there into this sort of area. Yeah, I like that. That's a valid solution. So if we put our block just here, we should be able to go 90 degrees. So let's give that a go. So new object, precision spin block. We'll start it pointing downwards, and what we'll do is we'll start it just straight away just with the missile 6-way connector. Alright, so it can't go there. We can have a block there. So now I've just got to make sure we put all the blocks in. We'll put all the blocks in here first, and we'll see how many that will give us. Something like that, and then we'll just do a test on that. And then if we were to put, whoops, that's the wrong way around. It needs to go back a little bit more than that. Always easier said. No, we'll start on that one there. There we go. Okay, let's put these behind here just to give it something to connect to. Because the blocks connect on the end, we need something on the end for them to connect to. Okay, if we go back to the hull, then what we would put is a control block. Get rid of that one just so I can see a little bit easier. We can armour that up afterwards. We would put a control, automated control, and then say when the enemy range, we'll leave it on none at the moment, but when the enemy range is within a certain area, spin block, rotate to we'll say 45 degrees for the moment, in a range of 2. Right, let's put it to 90 degrees. So that seems to be the maximum it's going out to at the moment, potentially because of that one there. If I take that one out, there we go. We go to 90 degrees. A good proportion of them are sticking out, but not all of them. This one on the end isn't. But the other ones potentially, especially if they ejected outwards, would all be viable for use. We might even get some more just here. If I go for the spinner, we might get some more just here. Let's see that one. Would it let us there? See if we can turn this a little bit more. Let's say if we go to 120. Yeah, would it go to 150? No, won't go that high. But it goes 120, so that's 120 degrees. That's not too bad. We might be able to put another one in there. Certainly can get another one in there and there, although now I'm worried about it not actually closing again. So let's just set this back to 0. Oh no, that closed relatively well. And what we'll do is we'll put that on the top and take that one out. Like that. So there's a little bit, it's a little bit not quite as well armoured. Put it back to 120 degrees, test it. 30 degrees. 40 degrees. No, 130 degrees. So it's going to 100, let's go to 120. 125. And 130. Yeah, so there is something. It is going to 130. Okay, let's see what other, how many more we could fit in here. In theory, I'd be willing to go there. Let's see if we can get 3 more in, because we want plenty of missiles. There's no point in having just a few. So let's just make sure this closes again. That's quite nice, like that. Let's see how much space we're using up in the center here. So we've got, let's see, 1 space there. What I'm going to do is watch this and see how much room we really have. Might get 1 or 2 in here. Let's see if we can load some up here. See if this starts to give it any issues. We'll see if one way to do this is, let's make it so that we know it's going to get some issues. Right, so they're all currently, they're just about 5 as long as we put an ejector on everything, but we won't be able to put an ejector on everything, so we're just going to have to hope that one there doesn't get caught in the vehicle, I think everything else would be okay. We'll put some metal blocks, where are we? Just here, to act as secure, to stop this, make sure it doesn't get blown up. This will be, we'll put all the fire controls next to that just there, and I think on the rear we'll potentially armour this up, just to stop it getting taken out too easily by anything that might shoot it. That should, we'll leave that top section, whoops, that one there. This level might be okay. We'll see when it tries to close which bits jam. So go back to 0. Okay, so that one is a no. Looks like potentially this one is a no. No, that one wasn't causing the problem. Okay, let's put that one back then. Maybe it's this one it doesn't like. Let's go and see if there's a block on the opposite side. Let's take off these metal blocks for a second until I've actually got it working. Okay, and this one doesn't like that one. How about that one? I didn't like that one. Okay, didn't like that last row. Is that all nicely back in position? No, it's not quite back in position. What are we caught on this time? Is it this one? Let's see, let's have a look, see which blocks are touching. That looks okay. No, that one is fine. Let's try taking out that one. No. This one? Nope. This one? No, that seems to be okay. Let me make sure I'm not... There's nothing on the rear. These metal parts that I added aren't suddenly causing it an issue. So let's take them off. Alright, because thinking about it, isn't there one which would be near the... Where's the control block here? Yes, I can't have one there because it needs room for... There we go. I may have... Yeah. Oh no, we've still got something. It doesn't like that one just there. There we go. Okay, so we are... I think we're just about at the maximum we can have then. So I can't have that. I can mostly put one... Can't put one there. Can mostly put one here. So, whoops. Let's just try that one more time. 130. Plops out, so to speak. Fires its missiles. And how many missiles are we going to get on this? We're going to get a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 missiles. Basically, from that there, I think that would be adequate. Okay, let's now build the missile system. We'll leave it turned out because it will be easier to create the missile block. So we're going to have it facing out this way. Right, we'll put one. I'll put one in for the moment. So that got me 5. So I'm going to get 5 blocks out of that. I'm just looking at see if there's any way I could get that. I could get more if I remove the metal and move it along, but let's see what we can get with 5. Excuse me. Right, what we're going to need to help with this is if I put in the missile controller. And we will need the weapon controller. And the weapon controller is going to need, let's see, we'll put a failsafe on it. And it will obviously need a transmitter. Receiver even. There we go. And we will need, see, I'm tempted to make these laser guided rather than AI. Because these ones, we've got 2 types of missile system. We're going to need some short-range ones which are for anti-ship, and we'll go with this is what this ones will be. So they could go infrared. No, they can go laser guided. Yeah, we'll make them laser guided. So we'll need a staggered fire, but we won't need a friend or foe. So we'll make them here laser designated, and we're going to make it team. So that's good. Now we'll put a variable thruster on here so we can have a bit of change with those. We'll just put 1 fin on there. Some fuel, won't need a 1 turn, and that way we can just put our items into just make this an EMP and explosive, I think. Won't worry about fragmentation on these ones. We'll just go for EMP and explosive. Okay, let me just fill in the rest of these, and we'll make the second one on the opposite side, and then we'll see how this will work. See if this will give us problems. I think at the moment it should be alright. Looking at those, these should all launch and not catch this block here, but we'll have to see when it comes to it. So see you in a little bit. And welcome back. The copying that missile array over wasn't quite as easy as I had hoped, but it's done now, so that should be in position and ready to rock and roll and test. So we'll test that when we get round to testing the system. Worst case scenario, these bottom ones might have to go, or we'll have to do some modification here to allow it to bump up. Potentially, we'll see what happens with the fail-safe and see if it will actually fire the missiles when there's a target out there. Haven't set anything really on the weapons controller yet. We'll do that once we've had a chance to test. The only difference between the 2 systems is I made all the missiles on one side EMP fragmentation, and the other side is EMP and explosive. I also did change them to infrared. I thought about it, and because we didn't have a lot of smoke, unless I find another way of doing it, I don't think infrared, laser targeting is going to be ideal for these particular missiles. Okay, so that's them done. Now, they're on the top. Now, I was thinking I could do these on the bottom, but what I might instead do on the bottom for the lower bay is create the turrets. So the turrets can be on the lower system, the missiles on the upper system. No particular reason, or we might put a turret here, but if a turret goes here, it's going to be limited on its arc, because obviously it's going to end up trying to hit this system, so I'd have to restrict it. Whereas what we can have is a turret here, especially if it's in flying mode, a turret which would fire down effectively on any targets below, which the missiles haven't got to worry about, because the missiles can have like an all aspect type of situation to them, so they wouldn't be as problematic in that regard. Yeah, so I think we will next quickly look at a small turret system. This is going to be, just trying to think now, for medium range, so it's still relatively large. Obviously nothing compared to our central gun, but it will be relatively large. We'll must we put it so it's just at a slight separation from the missile system, possibly around that position there. Let's put a mirror line in then first, and we'll see what room we've got to use here. So if we say starting around this position, let's get inside and see how much this is going to take up. Okay, so we could have the main turret just too high coming out of there, with its turret being somewhere in that region possibly. Looks like we'll have to do some modifications down there just to increase the armor a little bit. It looks like it's got a hollow section there, which is not great, and obviously going to cause some problems, or at least it's to reduce the armor ability, which is not good. Anyway, so let's see, we need to reproduce with the gun itself. This might be an asymmetric gun potentially, which means won't be easy to reproduce. What I mean by that is we'll have the turret somewhere not quite central, and the actual gun piece, instead of being at level with the turret, will actually be offset by one. That way it can be very close to being able to come out here and do the angle. So let's see, if we have it so that the turret barrel does go outside. Just trying to think of how long it's going to be. Now we can, one thing we could do is we could have the turret face backwards. And what I mean by that is its default position is backwards, with the barrel close up against here, and then when there's something to fire at, it swings out and would aim forward. That way also we can use this block on the side of the barrel just about to replicate this area, so we can have this go back a little bit further, about that much, allowing for the accuracy of this gun, about somewhere like that. Yeah, I like that idea. So okay, what we're going to do is we're going to affix, we'll put a little bit more armor here just for the moment, just while we're getting this sorted. Just while, the last thing I want is it to be picked off quite so easily by some laser system. Hate when it gets picked off by the lasers. Right, so we're going to have this, as I say, asymmetric. So we'll have the central point coming down about here. Gun will turn round and be able to fire out at about 45 degrees. That's not too bad, not too bad. What other alternative have I got? So it's not to be able to, that would mean it wouldn't be able to fire forward. Alternative is the other way around. Is actually have, instead of it going backwards, is have it forwards. There. And then it just comes out when it's ready to fire. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that one instead. So it's going to be slightly offset to that side. that's the way. Well, actually, that's the barrel will come down there, so it could actually be horizontal, straight horizontal. No, we'll try an offset barrel. We'll see how this works with a slightly offset barrel arrangement. It could work well. It might completely and utterly muck up. We shall find out. There's nothing like a little bit of experimentation. So that'll give us there. Let's see. So we need new object, and it will be a one-axis turret. Fronts that way. Now we're going to go back here, and we're going to have just a bit behind, so we're going to need about 2. So that's let's just make sure I get this level just there. Just there, I think would be about right. Let's just make sure what we're first going to do is in our cannons is just put a simple 6-way connector and have that come down. And it should be just one away from that center point. If we've got everything right, that looks good. Yes, because our barrel is going to go down that line there. So we'll do our barrel next. We'll put that there to put the barrel onto. Actually, I don't need that. Put that there. Get the firing piece. Custom cannon. Firing piece. Let's make sure we're which way is forward. That way is forward, so I want to be facing that way. There we go. And then we're going to put an elevation barrel on. And then some motor-driven barrels. Now let's see how many places have we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4. So that's going to be about 16 barrel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if we put some recoilless ones for the remaining. Like that. What's that giving us as far as, whoops, let's turn on that. Inaccuracy 1.06, 2280. That's okay for that length of barrel. That's what we're gonna have to work with as such. Right, next what we need to do is be able to put those blocks back. So let me just work out the best way to do that. If we go something like, and that's the wrong way around. And then we do just a metal one slope. Like that. We'll have to work out what's going to happen on the end here, but that's generally level, and then the rest of it can go into. So in theory, all we'll have showing, what we could do is only have showing literally the barrel. Yeah, okay, I like that. Now what we'll do is we've got some room to put some items on here. So we'll push this forward a bit like that and make some gauges onto there. Then we'll put reloaders down here. We've got about 1 either side, so let's get our reloaders sorted. There, and then put some ammo boxes onto this, and then we'll double up the reloaders here, because although it won't add to the ammo, it should increase the reload time. So let's find where's our gun. Reload time is still 4 at this moment. Is that actually showing as connected? Not okay. Reload time 4 comp slot. Okay, is it actually saying not connected to firing piece? Okay, that firing piece is not registering. Let's try putting that there. That's better. It didn't like doing it straight to the side. It had to go that way. It's obviously reorientating itself automatically up and down. Reload time 0.4. That's okay, because I'm going to put some gauges on this first. So let's put some gauges on here. We're going to put them up here. So we can see the barrel's a little bit sticking through, but that's okay. That's okay. Right, so what have we got there? Reload time. We need to get that reload time up a little bit better then. So we're going to need to put some more onto this. So if we go here, let's see if these actually do make a difference. If I've got all got that correct or not. Reload time 4.39, so they did make a difference. Let's see what that gives us. 1.39, and now if we just put these ammo barrels on here. That should have increased that nicely. 0.35. So it's done fire at a fair old rate now. Now we need to get armor piercing, because the AP is only 3, which means it's not going to pierce anything. So let's get some armor piercing on here next. Also, it's not going to have too much. Let's put that there. That will allow us to get more barrels on there. Armor piercing. That's 6. Do the same again here. So we can make sure we are able to cover the corners properly. That's right, it's going to work anyway. Let's do this slightly differently. If I take that one off there and put it just here, there we go, that's better. I'm going to do the same for this one as well, so it's symmetrical. So let's see now what we have ended up with. So 10.2, that's okay. Ammo's not great for it, but 1600, and yeah, but otherwise that's not totally bad. That's just what we will now do is just fill in some of this here so that it is ready and covered again. We might do some coloration of this just to show it when it's done. We'll have a look. We might have to see what we're going to put just there to cover that up. But for the moment, we'll just put this in like that. That way, this should be able to turn, I think, because there's nothing. Don't know what that block is doing there. That seems to be a bit strange, so let's quickly go and have a look why that block is there. I'm not sure why that was there. Let's see, what could we can put more items on the bottom here if needed. And what we'll do is we just put that there. Can't put any there, but that's fine, because it will go that way one. We should be okay. Right, what we will need to do is test this out. It will mean that the ship will drop into the water, but that's fine. It will just show whether it's going to totally at any point it's going to sort of like catch the side at all. So that we just give ourselves a fire control computer. There we go, and we'll go and find that weapon again. Where have we done with it? Right, where are you? Where are you gone to? Where are you gone to? You're down the front here somewhere, aren't you? It's a big ass ship, you know. So it's not a small ship. And we'll put it on number 2 for the moment. So if I go B and we go down to number 2, right, where's that gun gone? I just needed to fix myself to the ship. Right, okay, let's see what we can do. Where is the cannon? Let's try and find it. Ah, there we go. Let's see how much. So that's turning. The up and down doesn't seem to have much movement on it, because I think the firing piece might be going the wrong way. You can see it's got 80 degrees left and right instead of up and down, so I've got to reverse that firing piece to make sure it's the right way round. But this part of it is working quite well, which is good. So I just need to sort out what I did wrong on this firing piece, which is a pain. I thought I was obviously being smart, and I'm obviously ended up going the opposite and being silly. So okay, let's see, where are you? There you are. Edit, cannon, firing piece. Right, the easiest way is actually if I take this side out and take out that, and then yeah, just put it in that way. Let's see, 0.99. Let's just see if that now works. I go B, downwards. Are you going to aim down? Yeah, that's aiming down at about. Oops. Yeah, right. That fired. Everything else is in the system is also having a quick fire while we're about it. Right, we'll put that block on here again. Let's make sure we get it the right way around. There we go. That's that one, and so the only one we need is a single one. Possibly let's just try putting a single on the end and just see if it will still turn still. No, you can see how that is not turning. Okay. We edit the spinner. We find that block. Where's that one block? Fortunately, I can't see the damn thing now because it's hiding from me. Where are you? You're going to be right at which end? This end here. So we take you off. Let's see. Edit this spinner. There we go. No. Go to the hull. Right. Okay. Edit this spinner. Thank you. Right. There we go. Now what we can try is instead is what about the triangle? Whoops. A little 1 meter one triangle. Let's see if it will allow that in there, just to so at least it isn't totally let through. Let's see if that will open up. No, it's still not letting that one, so we're not going to be able to have any block there at all. That's fine. What we can possibly do is put a block just behind it. So we'll put a metal block just on this piece here. There we go. That will just give us a little bit of protection where in case something gets shot, we get shot at from behind. And we can also, hoping on the hull, let's see, got that one there. We can armor up. Have we got anything going into this area in front of it? No, we haven't now. So we can also re-armor up all of this section. There we go. And welcome back. I managed to get 2 turrets either side after some working around. You can see they're quite well hidden. Along with the missiles, I've had to make some gaps for the missiles, for these missiles to fire, otherwise they were impacting on the vessel here, but by putting these little gaps here, they are now actually firing, although it looks a little bit off. It's not too bad. So we've got these in here. I've also put some little doors, if I can find the right place. Here we are. Put some doors to separate each of the areas, so I can put some air pumps and just work on a little bit on the inside, just to make sure it's all armoured up and it's secure in case we get any holes. So just to see them in action, if I just go here and give myself, go into the all mode for all targets, you can see the guns pop out quite happily and aim down quite nicely. The front one's got a good firing arc. The rear one does stop a little early on the back and can't fully point backwards, but that's fine. That's just due to there. I could take some parts out there, but I think that's actually okay at this moment. Each of the cannons, when they go back in, they are quite nicely limited down. Just to see the firing, we'll just try firing some of these weapons, and also you can see the main guns fire as well. So if I go here, you'll see the main turret is also aiming down quite nicely if that starts getting into its range. Excellent. So let's see a quick little fire everything type of solution. So these fire quite nicely, and you can see the fronts is firing off. So they all launched, and the front, this is a single fire. The fronts are still firing. Obviously we're underwater here, which isn't the most ideal situation for these weapons. They are designed to be above water, but they're still going for it. Is that finished? I think that was a single fire solution, so that was relatively impressive, and that should quite happily blast the crap out of most things we come across, I think. We'll have to work on ammo replenishment. I've just put a load of ammo barrels on here for the moment, but we'll work on ammo later on. And let's just bring it out of the water one more time. Size wise, it's up to 15,000 blocks at the moment. I'm going to reduce that because I'm not going to need all these blocks at the back, so it will cut off, but I need to get engines into these compartments yet. Next solution, or next part of this build, will be some more missiles and some more cannons, but this is going to be more close range items. We'll put possibly some side firing missiles in here rather than this pop out like this. We might put some sideways firing missiles, or possibly some vertical launch missiles. We'll look at the situation as to what we need to be firing, and we'll see how that works. At the moment we've got plenty if we are in the air, and most of these weapons will work quite happily fire when the vessel is in the air. But if we were underwater, this is the only issue at this moment, if we were underwater, then a lot of these missiles will be a little bit worthless, and in those cases we would need a vertical launch missiles, which we could have here, basically firing out this top here, which is one possibility, or sideways firing missiles, so they fire out the side. I might do a bit of a combination. I might, on the top section here, have some vertical launch missiles, which are for underwater use and general use as well, but yeah, they're just vertical launches. And then underneath here we might use some of the space at the rear for some sideways launching missiles potentially. We've got a little bit of space in some of these areas here. We could put a small sideways launch system, and it's not going to affect the cannon, to put a few sideways firers out of that situation. Maybe torps. This one fires a whole load of torps from the side if it's underwater. That may be the next stage we have to work on, is different AIs depending if we're underwater or over water. We'll look at that next. Well, we won't look at that next. That will need to be looked at for the weapons. So all of the weapons for above ground will be on, say, number 1, or yeah, we'll have a think about that. What my idea is at the moment is have multiple AIs. We'll have one AI, the front gun AI is on a separate AI, so that's irrelevant. But we'll have one AI which is for general use, so it doesn't matter if we're above water or below water, it will work. And that will generally be some of the missiles and the cannons. Then we'll have a system which is it will only really work if you're in the air, so it'll be these missile systems, and some of the ones on the front will only fire if you're above a certain height. And then we'll have the level 3, which will be the torpedoes and missiles, vertical launch missiles, for if we are below the water. So if it's below a certain height, they will be active. Although the vertical launch missiles might work at any time. And then we might have we might even have a 4th AI, which is items that only work in space. We'll have to have a look through those, and we'll also, hopefully next time, we'll have what I have planned for these bits of wood will actually become a reality. If it works, it will be quite cool. That's if it works type of situation. So let's try it and see what happens. But until next time, leave any comments below. As always, keep building and coming up with ideas, etc. Always like to hear from everybody in the game. But most of all, have fun.